How's it going, people? Lately there's been something on my mind. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to say exactly what it is in this video. So instead, I am going to tell a story to you all that is a direct parallel to this. I will not approve or deny any game theories you all craft. I feel like there might be someone out there who might get it right after listening to it, but I'm gonna be pretty hands-off for now. I don't know how long this video is going to take to make. There's definitely a lot I want to say here, and I just feel like there's going to be some things I forget to say as well, and that sucks, obviously. But this is important, really. Anyways, so I live in a world where everybody is in a house. It's pretty swell. Housing is amazing in this place. Everybody's got a house, and there are two main types of houses. But then there are also lesser known houses in this world. And these houses are kind of rare. There's not a whole lot of them, really. But they're all unique. Whereas the two big popular houses, they're all mostly the same, really. In terms of like how they're built and everything. And what they look like. Same style, really. Same architecture and everything. I currently live in the first type of house, which I'll just refer to as Type A. It's a cool house. I think it's pretty nice here. Lived here for a long time. But my friends, you see, they have different houses. They own house type Bs, pretty much. So their house, it's different from mine. It's got a whole different style and everything. And people have a whole different interpretation about the other type of house than my house. Changing houses is not easy in this world. It is possible. There's a very big crowd of people who have done it. And people definitely put their heart and soul into moving from house to house. When they move from their original house that they were assigned when they just came into the neighborhood to the house that they actually want, most of the time they're pretty chill with it. They really like their new space. It's pretty chill. But sometimes other people, they don't exactly agree with their decision a whole lot. And as a result, their friends, they move away, pretty much. They move not into a new house. They basically take the house and they move it. That sounds very silly, but that's the best comparison I can make here. But sometimes it often goes very well with not only their friends, but like the other people in their life as well. Basically, anyone who chooses to move their house or switch their house is sometimes at the mercy of others. For example, the landlords or the person who sold them the house in the first place, they might not like the new house that they want because it's not a very good deal for them. They feel like things are going to be different for them, when in reality, it's basically the same house but a different style, really. A style that greatly contrasts the first type of house that we talked about, house type A. A very similar thing happens when someone decides to become what I'll call the third house type C. And house type Cs, they vary a ton. House type Cs are not the same like A and B. And I think I'd have a lot more to worry about, really, if I were to move from house type A to C. But I'm trying to move from house type A to house type B here. I am really worried though, because of my landlord. I'm not really sure what they're gonna think of it. Potentially they might drive me into a financial situation that forces me to keep my original house, which I'm not really sure if I may be happy with that for the rest of my life. But my friends are very supportive, unlike my landlord. They want to see me move in to a new place. In fact, I've even tried some of the aspects of their houses, really. I tried the types of kitchen stoves they have in there. Seems pretty nice. Sometimes it's a little bit hard hiding that from my landlord, of course. Not really sure what they're gonna think about that, you know, finding out that I might be considering a different house that might not financially benefit them a whole lot. But it can't remain a secret forever, really. Eventually, my landlord is going to have to know. It's going to be impossible for me to legally move from house type A to house type B. Personally, I think house type B is a better house for me, really. they have electric stoves in there instead of gas stoves. And personally, I think hot dogs taste a lot better when you put them on an electric stove. That's just me, really. And really, that's what the whole premise of this really is. It's all really just me at the end of the day. But often people try to, I guess, make it about them, really. Like my landlord, for example. They might be worried because they might not be able to feed their family with this new deal I might be pursuing. But at the same time, I really feel like my landlord would be completely okay with this, if it's what makes me happy. Because really, I've known this landlord ever since I first moved in, really. And while there have been some dark times, I think at the end of the day, the bond I've grown with this landlord has become less about money and really about my happiness in life. Lately, I've been doing a fair bit of research. I've been doing a little bit of digging. I've been on the housing market lately. I've heard some reviews, and that's basically how I found out that most people are very happy after they move houses. I've also learned a little bit about what the process of moving is actually like. It's not really a big rush or anything. In fact, some people who do it too quickly sometimes forget some of their important things in their old house. And by that time, you are so far away from that old house that you really question whether it's even worth going back there. But I value my stuff. And I also would kind of like to get to my new house kind of fast, so that way people will know where I'm at, really. People will know that I'm not in the old house anymore, I'm in this new house, and this is where I am to stay. However, with this big change of housing in mind here, I'd just like to say that it will always be no one but myself inside the house. Sure, I might change a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is going to be the same person that is talking to you right now, that you're listening to. From a distance, I might not seem the same. No doubt people will look at my house and they'll think a certain type of person lives in there, but it will always be me. And that's what I want everybody to take away from this little ARG I'm making, I guess, if you can even call it that. That might be a little bit of a stretch. It will be no one but myself. In fact, I would say the version of me in the new house is a much better, enhanced version of me than I am right now in house type A. The reason why I didn't pick house type C is personally because I couldn't see a very good version of me living there. In fact, I think I'd be a worse version of myself if I were to move into that neighborhood, I guess. But just remember that I might move houses. It's very possible. It's going to be hard. The moving journey is going to be quite a journey. This house feels like it's on the complete other side of the world. It's going to take some getting used to, really. I might slip on the floor once or twice. I did hear that they wax the floors a lot more in these houses, so it might be a little bit painful at times. But at the end of the day, the version of me that will emerge from house type B, from living there for so long, will be better in the long run. But it will still be me. The reason this video exists, like the way it is right now, and why I need to talk in riddles, is because the landlord could be watching right now. I don't know whether they're watching or not, but if they're watching, I need to make sure that I maintain security even if it's in a house I'm trying to move out of. Going forward, I am going to continue to browse the housing market. It is the only reasonable approach to decide whether I want to live in this new house, because at the end of the day, knowledge is ultimately power, especially in a situation like this, where the house in this world determines so much in life. This whole world is a complete neighborhood. There is not a single homeless person to be seen here. And who knows, there might be a chance that I might just stay in house type A after learning something absolutely terrifying, like monsters tending to hide in the basements of houses that are type B. Obviously, I'm gonna care about my safety in that whole situation, but every single day, I come across knowledge. I learn just a little something about house type B, and I gravitate more and more towards it. I look at my neighbors who all own these houses, and I greatly see myself in that house in the future. But just remember, I will not be going anywhere, and neither is this channel. The channel might change, but it will still be me, and you will know. Just really wanted to talk about this. It's really been on my mind lately, and I just feel like it would be wrong if I were not to talk about it here on YouTube. So yeah, the deed has been done. We'll see if the next deed will get done. Probably gonna make a dedicated video about that. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say that there will most definitely be a video about that. More likely than there was going to be a video like this right here. Sort of like the precursor, I guess. Anyways, that's all I've really got for you for this little ARG here. Build some opaque tulip lore. Hope you don't mind. But yeah, that's all I've really got to say. See you later.